The top 3 things that I think organizations need to be thinking about relative to the No Surprises Act final rule is, 1, it's multifaceted. So keep in mind that there's multiple aspects of it. There's the good faith estimate, there's out of work communication, there's the advanced DOB, which will be forthcoming. So reminding yourselves that in totality there's a lot there, and it's going to be an iterative process. 1. 2, the good faith estimate. It's painful a little bit for organizations right now in terms of rolling it out, but we've been given a year of discretionary enforcement and time to sort of work through some of the challenges specifically related to self-pay patients and patients that are uninsured. And it's the right thing to do. I think that's always important. I encourage people to remember, we're doing this because we want to make sure that patients understand what their total financial responsibility is. And then I would say finally, really starting to understand what payers are doing relative to out-of-network. And that can be done by looking at, denial codes and RARC codes on the back that are telling us how, whether or not they see and believe that this patient is out of network. And so do you have the processes up front to catch that? And then are they actually applying, a QPA to it? So here I think there are 2 things that organizations need to be doing to prepare. 1 is they should be working cross-functionally. This is not just a revenue cycle responsibility. This should be your compliance department, this should be your legal, it should be, your CEO and CFO. There should be cross-organization collaboration, and everybody should be involved in what this looks like and what impact it has to your organization and your patients. The second thing that organizations need to be thinking about is starting that communication process with co-providers. And I think organizations go right to, they're not going to want to give us the data. Many of them haven't even started to have the conversation. And I think it's, great, we say this to our kids, the answer will always be no if you don't ask. And I think that's a good way of thinking about it in this regard, is that co-providers will not give you the data if you don't ask. And so at least starting that dialogue, and I think it's interesting potentially to remind them, there's an aspect of the Price Transparency Act around, the tick files payers posting that information. So, co-providers saying, I really don't want to share this information, the reality is it's already out there. And so it's our collective patient, and so getting this is ultimately going to be a good thing for the co-providers who in many cases don't have the tools that a convening provider or an acute care hospital might have in terms of the patient estimation tools and the ability to generate accurate estimates more broadly. Leaning on a co-provider to do that probably is not really as scalable as it should be for the patient. So in terms of what Waystar can do, we're always happy to have a conversation. We're always happy to find out, what it is you're doing today, where you're at in the journey, share some of what we're seeing with our providers, share best practices. There are some, emerging things that we're seeing that are working well, and at least happy to share what we know and help you on your journey, for sure.